does not appear in the Bible, but it has been assigned to the experience of what's getting ready to happen. Quickly, go to the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter number 4. 1 Thessalonians, chapter number 4. This is the next thing on the scene. Hallelujah. What we're seeing today around the world. Saints, listen, we gotta wake up. Even what's happening in Africa today with the Ebola virus. They're saying that the Ebola virus is worse than it has occurred when it happened again in Africa. It is spreading. Americans who have been missionaries in countries like Liberia was affected and died. Doctors have died. They can't even allow, they have to be immediately quarantined if a person has it. But you see, remember that movie, Contagion? When people who have it, and that's what happened, a person left one of the countries on a jet, flew, and by the time he reached his destination, he was too sick to continue. But the problem is, everybody who's in contact with him on those flights have been potentially affected. And because of world travel nowadays, you could be in one continent and then be on another continent at the same time. And then everybody that you've exposed the virus to, that's why you got to pray, even when you're on a plane, because you don't know who you're sitting next to. You don't know who you're sitting next to. And you know, they're causing us now to rethink things that we take for granted. Because we normally shake a person's hand. They say more germs are transferred by the shaking of hands. They're saying you need to go back to giving the person a fist. You know, they criticize. Remember when Obama was running for president, and I think his wife or somebody came up and gave him the what's it called? That or whatever. They said that is healthier, and we need to change our culture to greet one another with that as opposed to shaking a person's hand grip. You got to pray, saints. And to consider you eating some food from a Wendy's, McDonald's, Gates. Even though it might be good, you don't know who has prepared that food. Oh, hear me. Chipotle. You eating all that rice. You don't know what's in that rice. You just got that rice. Come on now. That won't mess y'all up. No, you'll just eat that rice. See, you keep looking at it. One of them rice kernels might start moving. And here you haven't prayed, haven't done anything, just gobble that food. And then you look at it and you got to take a double take. Like some of them rice is moving. I'm keeping it jovial, but I hope you understand the seriousness of where we're at. The rapture is the next thing on the agenda. And what we're seeing, the wars that's happening, the weather, come on man. The weather, disease, earthquakes, it's going to happen. Now, come on, quickly. Well, and then at that appropriate time, 1 Thessalonians, chapter number 4, come on, verse number 13. talking about the resurrection. So let's pick it up. Verse 13, 4:13. Come on, please read. Which are asleep. Again, he uses the same, he uses the same phraseology, asleep, not die. Because for the children of God, we don't die. We fall asleep. All right, but I will not have you, brethren, to be ignorant concerning them which are asleep, that you sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. When a child of God passes, dies, come on now, yes, we're sorrowful. Yes, we're going to grieve. Yes, we're going to cry. But we don't act crazy at the funeral. And yes, people grieve in different ways. We understand that. And when you've loved someone, sometimes you've lived with a person for 50 years, come on, and then they're gone, that changes your life. Amen. For some, they're happy. But for others, they're sad. I'll never forget, I was a young person, and a pastor's wife had died. And a pastor's wife had died. And that particular pastor, well, some pastors seemingly are kind of mean, their disposition. I'll never forget it. At the end of the service, as you take the body out, he was behind the casket, pushing the body out, just singing and having a good spirit about what had just occurred. There was no tears, there was no... He was just happy. God is good. Come on, let me get back in the scriptures. So, Paul told the church, concerning individual saints that are asleep, that you sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. People of God, we don't go crazy when somebody passes and they've been a child of God. We know where they're going. Come on now. And we say it, we don't necessarily always believe it, but they're in a better place. They're in a place where pain, sorrow, issues aren't bothering them anymore. They're just resting. We're the ones that are grieving because we're going to miss them, and we're still here dealing with the bill collector. See, when you die, I don't care how many bills you had, they ain't going to bother you no more. All the pain that you had, even when you got up this morning, some of you had a little pain. Not going to happen. Paul said, now we know where they're going. They're asleep. Then don't act a fool at the funeral. Let me say it again. Folk holler at the top of their lungs. Mom! Don't leave me, Mom! I was at a funeral once, and as it was putting down the casket, family members, don't put down! No! Don't you put down that casket! I'm telling you the truth. Just hollering. And Mama was a saint of God. Don't you put that casket down. No, Mama. You know how you end that? Tell them to get on in the casket with Mama. They'll come around real quick. And those are other people, they plan to fall out. But they always plan to fall out. They get by somebody to make sure somebody's there to catch them. You help them real quick. Just be there like you're going to catch them and let them fall again. Somebody shout glory. Here it is, verse number 14. Verse number 14. Come on, verse 14. Please read. For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Jesus will God bring with him. Come on, for this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep. Thank you, Jesus. Here it is, verse 16. This is the key verse. Please read. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the dead in Christ shall rise first. Everyone who's died in Christ, come on now, whether it's been 2 days, 20 years, or 200 years. Remember they used to take Christians and feed them to the lions. God blessed me to see and visit the Colosseum in Rome. One of my favorite cities, if not my favorite international city, is Rome. And actually was in the Colosseum where they made sport of Christians and actually put them in this huge stadium, and lions would eat them. So just like you see a dog or an animal eat something, that's how lions did Christians and the people of God. But when the rapture occurs, whether their body has been rotten down to just the dust, or if they were consumed in a fire, or eaten by a wild animal, miraculously, hallelujah, drowned in sea. When the trumpet sounds, something is going to happen that brings back every morsel of molecule and flesh back into a new glorified body, and then it'll come together, and then when the trumpet sounds, immediately, simultaneously, you'll turn back into a new glorified body, and then you'll start going up in the air. No grave, no tombstone, nothing will be able to hold that body down. And when those that are dead come up and are equal to us at the same horizontal level that are alive, we'll catch a hold of them and all go back to God together. This is no fairy tale. This thing is real. Why do you think I'm living holy every day? Because I want to be ready when Jesus comes. Why have I endured people talking about me, criticizing me, taking everything that the adversaries put on me? Why? Because I know that if I just remain faithful, my reward is coming. There'll be something seemingly that they'll give as an explanation for the vanishing of people. But life is going to continue on. There's people now, New Agers, others, they don't believe in God. Even when you tell them and they experience, oh, this is something, they just talking. That's just a poor man's way of having hope. But there's going to be a period of time called tribulation. Now, let me move forward here. The next stage, go with me, and I think we may have introduced this last week. Go with me to the book of, first of all, go to the book of Romans, chapter number 9. Romans chapter number 9. Ooh, help me, Holy Ghost. Romans chapter number 9. Hallelujah. Now, the Jewish nation, the Jews, to this day, do not believe that Jesus has come as the Messiah. Now, thank God there are a few Jews who've come to the understanding and the revelation. They're called Messianic Jews. Christians. They believe in the Christians that Jesus did come and died on the cross for their salvation. That's just a few. I know, and have even association with one or two. The Jews do not believe in the Bible. They only still adhere to the Pentateuch, or the first 5 books of the Torah. So the Jews today only look at Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. They don't consider anything else that we call the Holy Scriptures. Remember, Jesus, God, Jehovah, selected the Jews as his people. Who's the father of the Jewish nation? Abraham. Don't be scared of it. Abraham. Remember? Genesis chapter number 12. Go out to a place that I show you. You'll be the father of the faithful. That's what he's known. I'll make your seed, what did he say? Like the sand on the seashore. If you could count all the pebbles of sand, your seed will be just like that. He said, look up in the sky. How can you count the stars? That's how your offspring will be. I will bless you, Abraham. Only thing, you have to keep my commandments. And the number 1 commandment was, you have to respect God, know he's God, and there shall be no other gods before you. But even Aaron, after the Lord kept on delivering Israel, the Jews, over and over and over again, they still went a-whoring after other gods. He did do everything, but they still would be disobedient and serve other gods. To the point where God finally said, listen, the Bible said he actually wrote a bill of divorcement. Now, let's consider. When you're divorced, that means then you're able to be free to marry again. That's how we, the church, stay with me, I'm building my case, become the bride of Christ. Now, I'm going somewhere with that. Remember that, the bride of Christ. All right? The Jewish nation then, come on, will not go to heaven. That is not for them. Stay with me. But look what the Bible says. Romans chapter number 9. The Jewish nation is going to inherit the earth. They'll live on the earth. Now, they'll see God and recognize him, but they don't believe at this point. They have to come to that revelation of who God is. All right? Look what the Lord says. Romans chapter number, where am I? Chapter number 9. Verse number, let's pick it up, 9, and go down to verse number 26. Verse 26. Stay with me. All right, 9:26. You got it? Come on, please read. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was stated unto them, you are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living God. That's concerning us. Now, verse number 27. Please read. Isaiah also crieth concerning what? Israel. And what does he say? Though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, child. Now, go with me to Revelation chapter number 7. Revelation chapter number 7. A remnant will be saved. Remember, Israel has not accepted Jesus Christ. We've been blessed because we were Gentiles. We had no hope. We were considered heathens. Come on now, dogs. But God said, since the children of Israel reject me, I'll then allow you, whosoever will, come. That's how we got in. Hallelujah. Great God Almighty. Great God Almighty. Oh. Hallelujah. And to think He chose a people like us. As evil and as ugly and as mean. Come on now. But God still, His love was extended toward us, that even when we cursed God, He still loved us. You ever try to fight somebody who was fighting you, and to keep them from fighting you, all you have to do is just embrace them. That's what God did with His love. Hallelujah. So the Lord said a remnant. Now let's see what that remnant is. Revelation chapter number 7. All right. Revelations chapter number 7. Come on. And we'll pick it up. Let's go to verse number... I don't want to read all of this, but Revelation chapter number 7, go to verse number 4. Verse number 4, all right? Because of my time. Revelation 7, verse number 4. All right, please read. And I heard the number. This is John the Revelator, receiving revelation, getting these visions. He writes it. I heard the number of them which were sealed. There were sealed what? 144,000 of all the tribes of the children. There was 144,000 that represented all the tribes of Israel. Now, we'll go back to verse number 3 for a moment. Go back to verse number 3. He sees this angel, and he tells this angel to hold back the wind. Now, verse number 3, please read, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. Then he goes on and says, and I heard the number of them which were sealed. What? 100 and... Now, how did this number come about, Sister Duff? Here it is. Verse number 5. Verse number 5. All right? Please read. Of the... were sealed 12,000. 12,000. 12. Now, we're not going to read them all, but 12,000 times 12 tribes totals 144,000. This becomes the remnant that is saved. That's in heaven. That John sees. Stay with me. All right? Now, let me show you something here. Go to Revelations chapter number 14 right quick. Hallelujah. Revelation chapter number 14. Revelation chapter 14. All right, you got it? Just one couple chapters. Verse number 1. Verse number 1. Come on. This is John still in his revelation. Verse number 1. 14:1. Please read. I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the mount. A lamb. That's a capital L. All right. And with him, what? 144,000 having his Father's name written in their forehead. What did we read before? That they held back the wind until their name was written in the forehead. Now let me give you something even better. Go to the next verse. Verse number 2, please read. And I heard a voice from heaven, as the voice of There's a song that we sing that the angels cannot sing. We've been redeemed. There's going to be a song that we won't be able to sing because only the 144,000 will be able to sing that song, that they've been redeemed. Their song is going to be different from our song. They don't want to hear me. Because they represent the remnant that will be saved. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Oh, God. And we'll keep moving from there. But the fifth stage then represents the 144,000, 12,000 from each tribe. Now, the palm bearers. All right, I'm going to mess up some of your theology. Stay with me. I'm going to mess up some of your theology. And again, this is what I received from my teaching, from my revelation, and from my study. There are those that believe that only one group is going to make it to heaven. Stay with me. There's been some old teaching that unless you do it our way, you'll not make it to heaven. I'm coming against that through the scripture. Stay with me. Hallelujah. You're going to tell, first of all, it's not my position to say who's going to make heaven and who's not. That belongs exclusively to God, who is the owner of heaven and hell. You don't want to hear me. Have you ever gone to a hotel and they tell you that the hotel is filled, but somebody else come in and then have a reservation, but all of a sudden they got a room for them? It's the option of the owner to determine who's going to stay in his hotel. Now. Let me show you this. It is hard for me to believe. Now, all right. It is hard for me to believe that even people like Billy Graham, great men who have dedicated their life in how many people turning to Christ, how could I ever say, because he might not have done what I did or experienced what I've experienced, how can I say he's going to hell? I know y'all going to get called. How can I say some of our great-great-grandmothers who maybe never was exposed to the teaching that we've had, but lived up to everything that they knew, how can I say they're not going to make heaven? Well, if they had been baptized in Jesus' name and spoken from, they can't make it that. I can't say that. I know it's going against some of your theology. Let me show you why. Let me show you why. Let me show you why. Let me show you why in the scripture. When you get married to a person, the bride takes on the name of the husband. At least they're supposed to. I got a few around here. I got to keep on checking, seeing what's going on. I went to the hospital the other day. Well, let me know. When you get married, you take on the name of the husband. Stay with me. Only the bride. Sister Relaford, before you married AC, your maiden name was Rogers. But when you got married, then you no longer was known as Frida Rogers, but became Frida. There you go. Math's teaching up here for me. And he said, you better not call it anything else. You take on the name of the husband. Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. I'm building my case. I'm building my case. I'm talking about the resurrection. I'm talking about all the stages of the resurrection, Angela. I'm building my case. Hallelujah. All right? Now, the only one who takes on the name is the bride. Now, when you go to a wedding, and it's a huge wedding, come on, you normally just don't have a bride and a groom, but you got a party of bridesmaids. And you got grooms who are part of the wedding party, but they're not the bride. But they're still in the wedding party. You see, only those that take on the name can be the bride. There's a distinction by those that take on the name and become the bride of Christ, as opposed to those that are just part of the wedding party. I'm here to suggest through my teaching that there's going to be others in heaven besides us who've taken on the name. We're the people of the name. And that makes us the bride of Christ. But there's going to be others who will get married and have a huge wedding and not going to have no bridesmaids. I've been to some places where there's like 16 and 20 bridesmaids. Well, I've seen it. I've been there. I've been there. And they even had some children swinging on swings at the wedding. They let doves go. Hey, and for people who do that, and you got the money, go ahead with your bad self. Stay with me, stay with me. I'm building a point. You see, when we get to heaven, hallelujah, we who've taken on the name through baptism, we make up the bride of Christ. With me, mother? Let me? But, let me show you something now. Hallelujah. Revelation chapter number 14. Revelation chapter number 7. Go back to Revelation number 7. Come on, come on, come on. Verse, somebody enjoying this? Verse number 9. Verse number 9. I'm going to show you something here. Verse number 9. Verse number 9. Come on, please read. 7 to 9. Please read. After this, after what? After the man-child. After he saw 144,000. Then John, after this, what? And beheld, and lo, a great multitude. Read. Which no man could number, yes. People and tongues stood before the throne, what? And before the Lamb, what? Clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. It was a multitude that could not be numbered. If hell has enlarged its borders, do you think God is just going to have a few folk in heaven? These are what we call the palm bearers. Stay with me. Stay with me. Come on, come on, come on. I know some of y'all might have to swallow again, because this is going against everything you done heard. Verse number 11. Verse number 11. Verse number 10. Verse number 10. So there's this great multitude, no man can number, every possible background from around the world. They're before the Lamb, clothed with white robes. Verse number 10, please read. Cried with a loud voice, saying, what? Salvation to our God which sitteth upon the throne, and keep reading, and all the angels stood round about the throne, and about the elders, and the four beasts, and did what? Fell before the throne on their faces, and what were they saying? Next verse, verse number 12, please read. Amen. What? Blessing, and glory, and wisdom, and thanksgiving, and honor, and power, and might be unto our God forever and ever. What? Amen. Now, John is saying this. While this is occurring, verse number 13, while this is occurring, verse number 13, please read. One of the elders came up to John saying, what are these which are arrayed in white robes, and where did they come from? So this elder came up to John and said, who are all these people in white robes? Where did they come from? Well, John was just there by a fluke anyway. He said, I don't know. You got to tell me. I'm just up here looking. Verse number 14, what? And I said unto him, what, sir? You got to be the one to know, because I don't know. But look what he says, read. And he said to me, these are they which came out of great tribulation and have. Keep reading. Therefore are they before the throne of God, and serve him day and night in his temple, and he that sitteth upon the throne shall dwell among them. Keep reading. They shall hunger no more, neither thirst anymore, neither shall the sunlight on them, nor any heat. Why? Because there's no sun in heaven. Jesus becomes the sun. But Diane, go back. These are they which came through great tribulation. We're not in that number because we left before the tribulation came. The church is not going to experience the tribulation. Oh, y'all don't hear me. But there are going to be those that make it through the tribulation. Now, don't get in your mind, well, if I miss the rapture, I still got a chance. That's where the scripture comes to be. If you can't be saved during grace, if you can't walk and keep up with the walkman, you know, see, sometimes I walk around, I've gone walking around the building, and I got a good stride. And some of these brothers, they hardly can keep up. Now, if you can't keep up with a person who's walking, how do you think you're going to keep up with a person who's on a big stallion? Verse number 16, they shall hunger no more, neither thirst anymore, neither shall the sun light on them, nor any heat. Keep reading. For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them, and shall lead them unto living fountains of waters, and God, these are known as the palm bearers. But it's a number. Remember, there was a specific number of the man-child, 144,000. These are so many a man can't count. Not the bride of Christ. Come on. That's why now maybe others, but I would be condemned to say some people are going to hell. It's not my place to. I know what I got to do to make heaven. Come on now. And I know what I teach to those under my responsibility, but I can't do that. There's some people who are living a better holy life. So, that becomes the palm bearer. And the last one is, go to Revelation chapter number 20. Revelation chapter number 20. This is that's the sixth stage. Remember, there's 7 stages. There's the first fruits, old saints, mystical body, the rapture, man-child, palm bearers, and here's the last one. Revelation chapter number 20. All right, verse number 1. 20 and 1. Come on, we're almost finished. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. Keep reading. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and this is what is known as the millennial reign. There's going to be a period of 1,000 years where Satan is going to be chained. It's going to be a time of total peace. This will be right before the end of time. Because look what the Bible says. Verse number 3. This is what happened. Verse number 3. Please read. And cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him that he should deceive the nations no more till. Keep reading. And after that loose is when the final battle will occur, which is known as Gog and Magog. Satan is going to be bound for 1,000 years. In that 1,000 years, known as the millennial reign, is going to be total peace, because that's not, he will not deceive the nations. He's bound. He's then going to be loosed. See, after the rapture, there are demonic forces, demons that have been bound. They're going to be loosed during the tribulation period. This world has not seen the devastation that is going to occur at that time. Amen. I remember everything I've been teaching about surveillance, how you can't run, how you can't hide. There in Los Angeles, I just saw a report, they're already putting chips into the homeless people in Los Angeles to keep up. Drones, robots, all of this is in place now, so when the system comes in, that's why the song says, you can't hide. I don't care how devious you think, you will not be able to hide.